Family and friends, welcome back to the shop. Today, a treat especial, as you may say. Metrology, the practice of holding fixtures in a way or creating fixtures that allow you to make precise measurements of things. An incredible, a beauty, a piece of hardware that's going to help big time. It's going to help us take some really cool measurements with this extractor rod. Sounds like a small task. Is it actually a monumental effort? And we're going to talk about exactly how this thing is going to help us. Also, a little surprise. Some of you may or may not know, it is my birthday. And today, I've got a little present from my wife. See this? I might include these a little bit more on the channel. Thought you guys might get a kick out of it. But here we have the Savinelli Oceano. Oh, what a beauty that is. Check that thing out, huh? Great colors. It's a nice piece. We're going to have we'll break this in later, but I thought you guys could get a kick out of it. I might include some more pipes. Might include some pipes and stuff on the in the channel. But let me know if you like the content. Anyway, on to what we're doing here. So what's cool about this is that we have a dial indicator. This is going to be able to hold some of these parts so that we can torque them all together and then check to make sure that they are that they're going to be, that the run out on this is not weeble wobbling all over the place. It's really cool. It's a really cool thing to get set up. I'm going to change the cameras around and I'm going to bring you down here and show you what I'm talking about. All right, we're going to make probably a pile of different camera adjustments here so you guys can see everything that's going on. But what we're using here is we're using this we're using our vintage 686. Again, this is our guinea pig. And what we have is a way that we can take this is our ejector rod, right? We push down on the ejector rod and the ejector comes out and this ejects spent brass. But what we can do, why this is such a big deal in the 686 is right down here. You can just see it, this little nubbin sticking out. If I push on this, maybe you can see it move. But if I push on this, you'll be able to see this thing. No, it's moving my God, my pointing device isn't working. Holy cow, I don't even have anything else. If I push on this, we can just see that moves. So this is a detent. This detent indexes on the front. I gotta change the focus here. Focus this up. This detent indexes here, right here, and that small little nubbin goes right inside of that. What happens is that as this cylinder turns, we are empty, by the way. As this cylinder turns and goes to the next indexes on the next cylinder, that if the run out here isn't spot on, if the run out with this is bad, what we're going to have is a weeble wobble effect on that detent. And what's going to happen is that on our trigger pull, when we go to pull it, we're going to get one of these trigger pulls. We're going to go to one cylinder, and it's going to go bang, right? And it's going to be a really easy pull. And then when this thing weeble wobbles off this way, right, it's going to push on that detent, and we're going to get a really hard pull to get it back to that very next cylinder. It's a really interesting piece of gear, but this does more than just one step. So let me we'll readjust again. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so we have this all set up. Everything's set up in front of us. It took me a little bit. I'm still learning how to use this thing. So what we've got here is we have a fixture that's able to hold this thing all torqued down onto this cylinder. And what we're going to be able to do is we're going to be able to rotate this cylinder and check with this dial indicator, check the run out on this ejector rod. So we can see down here that we're set to 0, right? And we've got about, this one's not that bad, but this, I've got to recheck the torque on this. This is a preliminary, we're walking through the woods here. It's kind of just, we're kind of just checking this thing out, making sure we know how to use it before we get too crazy. So once we rotate this, we can see, I've got to sort of check but we can see down here, right at the bottom, down here, hang on now, taking you for a ride. As I rotate this, my 0 isn't exactly 0, you can see, because we kind of plunge back in the negative there. But you can see that this dial indicator is allowing us to check and see what kind of movement we actually have in the end of this. And you can just see this thing kind of, teetering here, which means that it's not quite in line with this, right? As the threads on this thing, because this has threads on it, and that's how it gets threaded into the cylinder. And this thing is just kind of wobbling on the edge of there. So how this thing gives us a correction for that is it comes with a big old bar. So this bar's got a big hole in the end of it. We're going to talk about that in a second. And then we have a little hole on this end. So what we're allowed to do is slip this over the end. This fixture holding everything nice and tight. Everything's clamped down, right? What we'll be able to do is we'll be able to slip this over the end. We'll be able to just exact enough downward pressure to get this thing to run out to 0. So all we're going to do is we're just going to make little teeny tiny tweaks in it. The torque, for anybody looking to do this themselves, the torque factor here is 40 inch-pounds. So inversely, the other thing that we have is what we need to take a look at is this yoke, right? This is the crane. This goes into the frame of the revolver. This is the yoke, right? This piece has a large hole in this end, which slips over top of the yoke. And what we're going to be able to do is use another piece of tooling. This one right here. This takes the place. This is the exact same size as that extractor rod. And this is going to allow us to check our extractor rod inside of the frame of this 686. Let me do one more change. Okay, so now we're reset here with our 686. We've got our piece of tooling, right? This comes from a company called Pacific Tool and Die. They make a lot of gunsmithing products, but this slips down. This is the exact size that we need. This slips down into our yoke here, right, into our crane. So what we can do is we can slip this into the frame the way that it's supposed to go and align it and check the alignment that we have with the frame on this 686. So what we're going to be able to do is we're going to be able to figure out if that cylinder, this is where the cylinder closes, this is the actual latch that holds it in place. And you can see here that what we've got, this thing has been opened and closed quite a number of times. Oh, that's a focus, need to zoom. All right, let's bring it in here. We're going to get real microscopic now, because what we're going to need to look at is the peening. It's gonna be the peening that is happening on the inside of this. So what we can see here when we pull this back, so when the cylinder comes up, it rubs past this point and then it latches here. And what we can see here is that from that, we're probably latching just a little bit early. So what we want to be able to do is use this tool, this piece of tooling, and just ever so slightly bend that crane arm so that this thing slips right into that hole. You see that? When I pull this back, we get just a little bit of drag on the outside, right? So what we want to do is we want to make sure that this thing is really indexing here, lining up perfectly with that lockup. right? So we want this lockup to be nice and tight. Now, first, there's still one more thing to talk about with this crane, and that's this area here. So this is the top of the crane. This is what interfaces. I know I'm keeping you zoomed in. Hold on tight, because we're going down the rabbit hole now. So this is our ball detent. This is one detent, right? We can actually strengthen this gun up even more, give ourselves even better lockup by putting another ball detent right here. So we can drill a hole in here, slip a ball down in there, and then we can peen the outside of that so that there's a ball detent there, and then relieve that frame on the other side so that it will cam its way into the frame. It's a really cool process. I think I'm gonna do a couple videos on it. When like I said, we just got all this stuff in the mail. You know, a lot of these pieces kind of just arrived, right? So this sits in here like that. A lot of these pieces just arrived. We just got them in the mail. So what we're gonna be doing is we're just gonna be taking a look at how exactly to do this, how to make our own improvements to this in here 686, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna really slick up this cylinder. So what we're gonna end up with, the reason why we're doing all this is because what we want is we want the best possible trigger pull that we can. I'm sorry, I'm shaking everywhere. The best possible trigger pull that we can get out of this mechanism, and that is going to be taking as much friction, as much drag out of these parts as possible. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. I love talking about this stuff with you. I think this stuff is just super cool. This is made by Rand Power. This is a piece of tooling made by Rand Power Custom. This is just a mid-tutorial dial indicator. And, like I said, I think I want to include some, let me get another look at this Oceano up close. I think I'll include some other kind of fun stuff like this Oceano. We can include some other stuff in here, but yeah, this is a really cool birthday present. I really appreciate it. Yeah, anyway, that's it for today. If you like the video, I'm going to be bringing you guys some more stuff, and like I said, once I get some more of this figured out, I'll be doing some more videos on all this, on some of this really cool gear. I think you guys will really enjoy it. I know I enjoy it. And hopefully we're going to get this 686 together. All of us are going to get this 686 really running crisp. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out. If you've got an old revolver that you want me to take a look at or something like that, stop on by. You can bring it over to the house, and we'll take a look at it. I can tell you more information about it. I've got tomes and books and all different kinds of stuff on the Smith & Wesson product, and a lot of other revolvers out there too. But it's been a fantastic day. If you liked the video, catch you guys later.